The desert stretched far under two suns, endless waves of sand glowing in bright light. The heat pressed down on the small human research team as they moved slowly across the golden land. Their leader, Ryan, walked at the front with a scanning device in his hands. The signal had led them here, to the middle of nowhere, where wind and sand ruled for thousands of years. Behind Ryan came Mira, who carried the map screen. She looked at the readings again and again, shaking her head in disbelief. "The signal is strong here. It should not exist in this kind of desert," she said. Pharaoh, the youngest of the group, wiped his forehead and muttered, "Maybe it is a mistake. Maybe the scanner is broken." But Ryan stopped walking. His boots sank into the hot sand as he raised his hand to silence the others. His eyes looked far into the distance, and there, on the horizon, something broke the flat line of sand. It was not a dune, not a hill, but a dark point, almost like a wall rising out of the ground. "We are not chasing ghosts," Ryan said. "Look there." The group hurried toward the spot. The closer they came, the larger the structure looked. It was half buried in sand, only the top showing, yet even that part was massive. Black stone blocks rose like a mountain, and the edges were sharp, not shaped by nature. Mira touched the wall with her gloved hand. The stone was cool even under the suns, as if it did not belong to this world. Carvings lined the surface, worn by time yet still visible. They were not random lines, but shapes of tall figures with long arms and strange eyes. Gold dust shone faintly inside the carvings, catching the light like fire. Pharaoh's mouth opened in surprise. "This looks like Earth pyramids, but bigger and older." Ryan knelt and brushed away sand from the bottom edge. More carvings appeared, figures standing in lines, each holding a staff, each watching something in the center. Their eyes seemed alive, staring back at him. He felt a strange weight in his chest, as if the figures were not simple stone but something more. "This is not just a ruin," Ryan said softly. "This is a tomb of watchers." The team set up equipment quickly. Diggers hummed, clearing the entrance hidden under sand. Hours passed as the suns moved across the sky. At last, the sand slid away, revealing a doorway shaped like a triangle. Its top was marked with golden lines, forming a circle with a single eye inside. The eye glowed faintly, though no power source was visible. Mira stepped back. "It is alive," she whispered. "The stone is alive." Ryan touched the golden circle. The stone was smooth, warmer than the desert air. He felt a vibration like a heartbeat, and then the doorway rumbled. The ground shook, sending a wave of dust into the sky. Slowly, the stone block shifted, opening into a dark tunnel. The air that came out was cold, colder than anything in the desert. It smelled of old metal and forgotten time. The team stood silent, staring into the black passage. Pharaoh broke the silence. "Should we go in?" Ryan nodded. "We came this far. This is why we are here." They turned on their lamps and stepped inside. The tunnel stretched deep, lined with golden carvings on both sides. The figures returned again and again, tall beings with shining eyes holding their staffs, all facing forward as if waiting. Every few steps the carvings changed, showing scenes of stars, planets, and ships flying across the sky. Mira slowed down to study one panel. She traced the shapes with her fingers. "These are not myths. These are maps. Look, this star path matches the galaxy chart." Ryan leaned closer. She was right. The carvings were not only art but knowledge, a history written in gold. Whoever built this tomb had traveled across galaxies long before humans learned to leave their world. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Their lamps shook as the ground under their feet changed from stone to a floor of polished gold. The light reflected, making it look like the tunnel went on forever. At the end of the passage, they reached a vast chamber. Its ceiling rose so high it vanished into shadows. Dozens of golden statues stood in rows, each taller than any human, each with eyes made of crystal. They all faced the center of the room, where a huge stone sarcophagus rested. The statues did not move, but the team felt their gaze. It was not just stone. It was as if the statues were waiting, watching every step. Pharaoh whispered, "Why do I feel like they see us?" Ryan's voice was low. "Because they do." For a moment, no one spoke. The silence of the tomb pressed heavy on their hearts. The carvings, the statues, the golden eyes all seemed to carry one message. This place was not only built to hold the dead, it was built to watch forever. The team had come searching for history, but what they had found was something greater. The tomb was not forgotten. It was alive, waiting for someone to enter, waiting for them. And deep inside, the watchers opened their eyes. The chamber was vast and silent. Ryan, Mira, and Taro stood near the golden statues, their lamps casting long shadows across the polished floor. Every statue seemed to lean forward slightly, their crystal eyes glowing faintly in the dark. None of the team spoke, for each of them felt the same strange pressure in the air, as if the room itself was alive. Mira raised her scanner and frowned. There is no heat source, no energy lines, but something is moving inside this place. Taro shook his head quickly. Statues do not move. They cannot. Yet his hands trembled as he held his light higher. The statues looked almost human, but their arms were longer, their heads crowned with golden bands. The more he looked at them, the more he felt like they were not simply carved stone. Ryan walked closer to the sarcophagus at the center of the room. It was massive, larger than any coffin built for humans. Its surface was covered with golden lines that formed a circle, the same circle they had seen on the doorway outside. In the center of the circle was another eye, and this one glowed brighter than the rest. As Ryan touched the edge of the sarcophagus, the eye pulsed with light. A deep sound rolled through the chamber, not like thunder, but like 1,000 voices whispering at once. The statue's eyes flickered one after another until the entire chamber filled with a soft golden glow. Mira gasped. They are waking. The statues slowly turned their heads. Stone ground against stone, but the movement was smooth, almost natural. Each statue lifted its staff, the golden tips shining as if fire had been trapped inside them. Taro stepped back in fear. We need to leave now. But before they could move, the deep voice returned. It did not come from the statues nor the sarcophagus, but from the air itself. The words were strange, yet they rang clearly in the minds of the humans. You are not of the old kings. You are not the builders. Who enters the tomb of watchers? Ryan steadied his breath and spoke aloud. We are humans. We come from a world far across the stars. We mean no harm. The statues stood silent, but their glowing eyes locked on the team. The voice returned, stronger now, vibrating through the walls. Humans, a name carried on forgotten winds. Few passed through the gate. Fewer still survived the gaze. You are seen. Mira's scanner shook in her hands. Ryan, it is not just a machine. This place is thinking. The golden glow spread across the floor, forming lines that connected each statue to the sarcophagus. The air grew heavy, as if the chamber itself was judging them. For a long moment, nothing else happened. Then slowly, the sarcophagus lid shifted. Dust fell as the heavy stone slid aside, revealing darkness within. From inside rose not a body, but a shape of light. It was tall, taller than the statues, with a face hidden by a mask of gold. Its eyes burned like fire, and its voice filled the chamber. We are the Watchers. We are bound to guard until the worthy arrive. Ages have passed. Stars have died. Yet still we remain. Who stands before us now? The humans did not answer at once. Taro hid behind Mira, too afraid to look. Mira held her lamp close, though its light was weak compared to the golden fire around them. Ryan stepped forward. His voice was firm, though his heart raced. I am Ryan. These are Mira and Taro. We are explorers. We found your tomb by chance. If we disturb your rest, we will leave. The golden figure studied them in silence. Then it spoke again, its voice deep and endless. Leave? None who enter may leave until the trial is complete. To walk the halls of the Watchers is to be measured. Your kind will be tested. Fail, and your bones will join the sand. Succeed, and you will know why we remain eternal. The statues raised their staffs together, striking the floor with a sound that echoed like thunder. The golden lines on the floor pulsed brighter, creating patterns that formed a path deeper into the tomb. Taro whispered, I do not like this. We are not warriors. We are not ready. Mira placed a hand on his shoulder. Maybe that is the point. They are not testing strength alone. They want to see something else. Ryan looked at the glowing path. The air hummed with energy, and the Watcher's eyes followed every move. We came for knowledge, he said. Now we see the price of it. We have no choice but to walk. He stepped onto the golden path. The light grew stronger under his feet, spreading ahead as if guiding him. Mira followed, her fear hidden under steady breath. Taro hesitated, but the statue's eyes pressed on him until he hurried after the others. As they walked deeper, the golden figure's voice followed them. Long ago, we served kings who sought to rule the stars. We guarded their secrets, their power, their pride. But pride fades. Empires fall. Only the Watchers remain. Now we wait for the heirs of strength, memory, and unity. If you are such heirs, prove it. The golden light dimmed, leaving only the humans' lamps to cut through the shadows. The tunnel ahead bent into darkness where unknown trials waited. The statues behind them lowered their staffs, sealing the way back. The humans were trapped inside the tomb, caught between fear and wonder. Every step echoed like a drumbeat in their hearts. The trial of the Watchers had begun. The golden path led Rian, Mira, and Taro into a narrow corridor. The air inside was colder than before, so cold that their breath came out like mist. The walls glowed faintly, showing carvings of tall figures raising their staffs toward the sky. Between the carvings, more golden lines shimmered, forming strange patterns that changed as the humans passed by. Mira kept her scanner close, but the device flickered and shut down. "It is useless here," she whispered. "Something in this place does not want us to measure it." Ryan frowned. "Then we rely on our own eyes. Stay close. Do not wander." As they walked, the corridor split into 3 different paths. Each one was marked with a symbol on the wall. The first symbol showed a hand holding a heavy stone. The second showed an open eye. The third showed 3 figures standing together, holding hands. Taro looked at them nervously. "What does it mean?" "Which one is safe?" Before anyone could answer, the golden figure's voice echoed from the walls. "Strength, memory, unity, these are the trials. Only those who prove all 3 may continue." Rian studied the symbols. "We cannot walk together. Each of us must take one path." Taro's face went pale. "You mean alone?" "Yes," Rian said firmly. "That is the test. We will meet again on the other side." Mira touched the third symbol, the one of unity. "I will take this path. It speaks to me," Rian nodded. "Then I will take strength." He placed his hand on the first symbol. Taro swallowed hard. "That leaves me with memory." He raised his shaking hand to the second symbol. The golden light around them brightened and the walls shifted with a deep rumble. 3 stone doors opened, one for each human. Ryan gave a short nod to Mira and Taro. "We will return. Remember, no fear." Then they each stepped into their chosen paths. Ryan's trial. Strength Ryan entered a chamber filled with massive blocks of stone. The ceiling above groaned, and slowly the blocks began to move, grinding against each other. They slid downward, threatening to crush the floor. The voice of the Watchers filled the air. "Strength is not only muscle. Strength is will. Prove that you will not break." Ahead, a golden door stood closed, but heavy pillars blocked the path. Ryan placed his hands on the first pillar and pushed. The weight was enormous, but he set his teeth and forced it aside. His muscles burned, yet he kept moving forward, one block after another. Sweat ran down his face and his arms shook, but he did not stop. At last he reached the golden door. With one final push, he forced it open. Light poured over him, and the voice whispered, "Strength accepted." Mira's trial. Unity. Mira's path opened into a wide room with 3 statues of humans carved from stone. They looked like her, but their faces were blank, waiting. At the far end was another golden door, locked tight. The Watchers spoke. "Unity is not numbers. Unity is trust. One cannot stand alone." As Mira stepped forward, the statues moved. They turned their heads toward her, and one by one they placed their hands on the floor. A puzzle of glowing lines appeared between them. The lines twisted and turned, forming shapes that could not be solved by one person alone. Mira studied the puzzle. She understood at once. She placed her hands on 2 lines, but her reach was not enough. She had to guide the statues, teaching them where to press. "Left," she said softly, moving one statue's arm. The line glowed brighter. "Now forward." "Yes, hold it there." She guided the second statue, then the third. Together the shapes locked into place, forming a circle of light. The golden door opened and the voice whispered, "Unity accepted." Taro's trial. Memory Taro entered a small chamber with walls covered in carvings. Each carving showed scenes of stars, battles, and kings crowned in gold. In the center stood a crystal table. On it lay golden fragments, broken pieces of a larger picture. The Watchers spoke. "Memory is not the past alone. Memory is learning, keeping, and building. Prove you can see the pattern." Taro stared at the fragments. His heart pounded, but he forced himself to calm down. He touched one piece and placed it against the wall. The carving on the wall lit up, showing part of a star path. Another piece showed ships flying in formation. Slowly, piece by piece, he rebuilt the history of the Watchers. At first his hands shook, but the more he worked, the more he saw the order. He remembered the carvings they had passed earlier and matched them. Finally, the last piece fit, and the wall shone with a complete golden map of the stars. The golden door opened and the voice whispered, "Memory accepted." The reunion, the three paths joined again in a final chamber. Ryan stumbled in, his arms heavy but his eyes shining with triumph. Mira entered next, her face calm with pride. Last came Pharaoh, his hands glowing faintly from the golden fragments he had touched. The golden figure stood before them once more. Its fire burned brighter, and the statues lined along the walls bowed their heads. "You have passed the trials of strength, memory, and unity," the voice declared. "Few have done so. Now you may walk deeper, where the heart of the tomb waits." The ground shook as a new passage opened, glowing with golden light. The humans looked at one another. Fear was still in their hearts, but now something else burned stronger. Hope. They had been tested, and they had not broken. The Watchers had seen them, and the path to the Golden Hall now awaited. The new passage stretched forward like a river of light. Golden lines ran along the walls and floor, guiding the humans into the depths of the tomb. The air grew warmer as they walked, carrying a faint hum, like the sound of hidden music echoing through the stone. Rian walked in front, his lamp no longer needed, for the golden glow was enough to light their way. Mira followed close, her eyes wide as she studied the carvings on the walls. Pharaoh came last, still nervous but calmer than before, holding on to the thought that they had survived the trials. At last, the passage opened into a hall so vast that they gasped in awe. The ceiling arched high above, glowing with lines that formed shapes of constellations. The walls shone with golden murals, each one more detailed than the last. The floor was polished smooth like glass, reflecting the humans' faces back at them as they stepped inside. "This is no tomb," Mira whispered. "This is something greater." They moved slowly, taking in the murals. One showed tall figures standing beside great pyramids. Their golden staffs pointed at the stars. Another showed ships shaped like spears flying across galaxies. A third showed the same tall figures standing with smaller beings who looked strikingly human. Pharaoh stopped at that mural and pointed. "Look, they are with people like us." Ryan studied the image. The tall Watchers were handing over golden circles while the humans reached out to accept them. It was not a scene of battle, but of trust, like a gift being passed down. "What does it mean?" Pharaoh asked softly. Mira shook her head. "It means we are connected. Somehow they knew about us long before we even walked the stars." At the center of the golden hall stood a giant throne carved of black stone, wrapped in golden designs. Behind it rose a wall covered completely in glowing carvings. The murals here were alive with light, showing endless stories of empires rising and falling. Kings crowned and buried, stars born and destroyed. As the humans approached, the golden figure appeared again, stepping forward from the throne. The fire of its eyes burned brighter than ever. "You have entered the Hall of Kings," the voice said. "Here lies the memory of all who ruled, and the purpose of all who watched." The humans bowed their heads, though none of them had been told to. Something in the air demanded respect. The figure raised its staff and the mural shifted. Scenes of battle faded, replaced by new images. The Watchers stood in silence beside tombs of stone, guarding them through endless ages. Then the murals changed again, showing countless alien explorers entering the tomb, only to be cast out or destroyed. Rian clenched his fists. "So many came before us, and all failed," the voice echoed. "Yes, many sought the treasure of power but lacked the spirit to guard it. The Watchers turned them away. We have waited for the ones who carry not greed but burden." "We have waited for you," Pharaoh trembled. "Why us? We are not kings. We are not warriors." The golden figure stepped closer, its towering form glowing brighter. "You are human. Your kind carries the seed of what the kings lost. You endure. You remember. You stand together even in fear. This is what we have waited for." The words fell heavy on their hearts. Mira placed her hand on the mural of humans and Watchers together. The golden lines pulsed warmly under her touch. "It is true," she said softly. "They were waiting for us." The golden figure lowered its staff toward them. The floor trembled and the polished surface split apart. From below rose a pedestal of pure gold, and on it rested a sphere of light, glowing softly like a captured star. "This is the heart of the tomb," the voice said. "It is the legacy of the Watchers. knowledge that can forge stars, bend time, and shape empires. But it is not treasure to be taken. It is a burden to be carried. Ryan stared at the sphere. Its glow reflected in his eyes, bright yet heavy. If we take it, what happens? The murals on the walls shifted again. This time they showed humans carrying the golden sphere, standing among stars while countless worlds watched. Some scenes showed peace, others war. The message was clear. The choice would shape the galaxy. Mira turned to Ryan. It is power, but it is also duty. If we accept it, humanity will never be the same. Taro shook his head quickly. Maybe we should leave it. Maybe it is too much for us. The golden figure's voice filled the hall. To leave is to abandon the calling. To take is to bind yourselves to the Watchers. You cannot stand between. The choice is yours. Silence fell. The humans looked at one another. None of them spoke, but the weight of the decision pressed down on their shoulders. They had come as explorers, yet now they stood at the center of a destiny far greater than themselves. The hall glowed brighter, the murals watching them, the statues standing in silence. Every eye of the Watchers, past and present, seemed fixed on them, waiting for their answer. Ryan took a step forward, his hand trembling as it reached toward the glowing sphere. His voice was low but steady. If this is what we were meant to find, then we must decide together. Mira and Taro joined him, standing on either side. Their shadows stretched long across the golden floor, reaching toward the light. The golden hall grew silent, holding its breath. The choice of humanity was about to be made. The glowing sphere rested on the golden pedestal, its light pulsing softly, like the beating of a heart. The hall was silent except for the faint hum of power filling the air. Ryan, Mira, and Taro stood together, their eyes fixed on the sphere, each of them feeling the same pull yet also the same fear. The golden figure raised its staff. This is the gift and the burden. To touch it is to accept. To walk away is to refuse. The Watchers will obey the path you choose. Ryan breathed deeply, his chest heavy. We cannot decide this lightly. Mira nodded. This is not about us alone. This is about every human who will come after us. Taro stepped back, shaking his head. But how can we decide for everyone? We are only 3 people. We are not leaders. We are not chosen by our world. The golden murals on the walls shifted again, showing humans across different worlds. Some working together, some fighting, some reaching out to stars. The images seemed alive, reflecting both the best and worst of their kind. Ryan stared at the scenes. Maybe we are not leaders, but we are here. The Watchers chose us to enter. Maybe that is enough, the golden figure's voice echoed. You are not chosen by crown or throne. You are chosen by trial. You proved strength. You proved unity. You proved memory. That is why you stand here. The choice belongs to you. Mira stepped closer to the sphere. Its glow reflected on her face, filling her eyes with light. She felt warmth in her chest, but also weight, as if the sphere carried the lives of countless generations. It feels alive, she whispered. It is not just power. It is knowledge. It remembers everything. Taro wrapped his arms around himself. If we take it, we become guardians. That means danger. That means enemies. Maybe we are not ready. Ryan turned to him. And if we leave? The Watchers will wait another 1,000 years, maybe longer. Another species may come. What if they take it? What if they use it for war? The word struck deep into Taro's mind. He pictured alien armies with golden power burning across galaxies. He shivered. Mira spoke softly. Power is dangerous, but duty is greater. Maybe this is why humanity was brought here. Not to rule, but to protect. The golden figure lowered its staff and the floor shook. New murals appeared. They showed the Watchers themselves in the past, standing tall beside ancient kings. They gave the kings their knowledge, but the kings grew proud, building empires and waging wars until their worlds fell to dust. The Watchers had failed once by trusting pride, and since then they had waited for a kind who could carry the burden with humility. You must learn from what was lost, the voice said. The kings sought glory. That is why they fell. You must seek duty. That is why you may rise. Ryan clenched his fists. He thought of his homeworld, of the cities glowing under night skies, of children learning to dream of stars. He thought of the dangers beyond, the alien powers that watched humanity with suspicion or envy. If this gift was meant to protect, then could they walk away? He looked at Mira and Taro. I cannot decide alone. This must be all of us. Mira placed her hand on his arm. I am with you. If we do not take it, we leave our future unguarded. I believe we should accept. Taro hesitated. Fear weighed on him like chains. But when he looked into their faces, he saw not only fear but also courage. His voice shook as he said, I am afraid. But I do not want our kind to be forgotten or destroyed. I will stand with you. The golden figure lifted its staff again. Then step forward together. Touch the heart and the watchers will bind with you. From this moment, your kind will be heirs to our eternal task. The three humans walked to the pedestal. The sphere glowed brighter with every step until it was hard to look at. Ryan reached out first, his hand steady. Mira placed her hand beside his. Taro followed, his hand trembling but firm. When their fingers touched the sphere, a wave of golden light burst across the hall. The mural shone brighter, showing scenes of humanity's future. Ships crossing stars, people standing beside watchers, worlds guarded from harm. The air filled with the sound of countless voices whispering as one, like a river of memory flowing into them. Rian felt strength rush through him, not of muscle, but of spirit. Mira felt knowledge fill her mind, stars and histories unfolding like pages in a book. Taro felt unity, a bond tying them not only to each other but to all of humanity. The golden figure bowed low. It is done. The Watcher's burden is yours now. You are the new guardians. Carry it well. The light slowly dimmed and the hall returned to silence. The sphere remained, but its glow was softer, as if it now rested in the humans themselves. The choice had been made. Humanity had accepted the weight of duty. From this day, their path was forever changed. The golden hall fell silent after the humans accepted the sphere. Its warm light lingered on their faces, but the chamber itself seemed to hold its breath. The statues along the walls lowered their staffs and remained motionless, watching. The golden figure spoke again, its voice calm but heavy. Before your task can begin, one final trial remains. This is not of strength, nor unity, nor memory. It is the trial of truth. Only those who face themselves may inherit the Watcher's legacy. Ryan, Mira, and Taro exchanged nervous glances. They had survived puzzles, paths, and challenges. But this was different. Fear pressed on them from every direction, as if the hall itself knew their deepest doubts. The voice continued. You must walk alone in the chamber of reflections. There, every hidden thought, every secret, every fear will confront you. Only if your hearts remain true may you pass. A doorway of shimmering gold opened to the side of the hall. Ryan, Mira, and Taro stepped forward together, then separated as instructed. Ryan entered first. The chamber was small, circular, and filled with mirrors of gold. As soon as he stepped in, the mirrors reflected more than his face. They showed moments from his past. Failures, mistakes, regrets. One mirror showed him leaving a teammate behind during a mission. Another showed him doubting his own abilities when others relied on him. Rian's chest tightened. Each image pressed on him with guilt and shame. But he forced himself to breathe steadily. I cannot change the past, he whispered. But I can be better. I can do what is needed now. As he spoke, the mirror's reflections shifted. They no longer showed only failures, but also moments where he had chosen courage. The first time he led a team safely through an asteroid storm. The time he comforted a frightened crew member. The mirrors glowed warmly, acknowledging his truth. Rian stepped out of the chamber, and the doorway closed gently behind him. Mira entered next. The mirrors of the chamber reflected her doubts, the times she had felt powerless, the choices she had made out of fear or hesitation. She saw moments where she had failed to speak when others needed her voice, moments where her loyalty wavered. Tears pricked her eyes. I cannot hide, she said softly. I must be honest with myself. As she accepted her fears, the mirrors shifted, showing moments of kindness, intelligence, and courage. Each reflection reminded her of the strength she carried even when she did not believe in herself. A warm light enveloped her, and the chamber seemed to nod in approval. She stepped out, her heart lighter but full of determination. Taro entered last. The chamber reflected his fear most strongly. He saw himself frozen in dangerous situations, hesitant when he should have acted. He saw moments of selfishness, moments where he had doubted his friends, and worst of all, moments of fear that almost stopped him from doing what was right. His hands shook. I am not strong like Rian. I am not steady like Mira. Maybe I am not meant for this. The voice of the Watchers echoed in his mind. Truth is not perfection. Truth is courage to face what you are. Taro looked at the mirrors again. seeing himself not only in fear but also in small acts of bravery, rescuing a fellow explorer from a collapsing cave, helping a child carry water on his home planet, choosing honesty when it was easier to lie. He whispered to himself, "I am human. I may falter, but I can try. I can endure." The mirrors glowed brightly and Taro felt warmth spread through him. He stepped forward and the doorway closed softly behind him. Outside, the three humans reunited. The golden figure stood before them, tall and radiant. The statues bowed slightly, acknowledging the completion of the trial. "You have faced yourselves and shown truth in your hearts," the golden figure said. "Few have endured what you endured. You carry not only power but also understanding. You are worthy of the Watcher's legacy." Ryan, Mira, and Taro felt the sphere's glow pull gently at their minds, offering knowledge, guidance, and strength. But now, more than ever, it was clear that this gift was not only a tool but a responsibility. The hall vibrated softly as if breathing. The murals on the wall shimmered, showing futures of humanity guided by the three humans' choices: peaceful exploration, defense against danger, and wisdom spreading through the stars. Taro smiled faintly, no longer trembling. "We did it. We faced ourselves." Mira nodded, feeling a calm she had never known. "And we are ready. Whatever comes, we can handle it together." Ryan placed a hand on the sphere. "The Watchers waited for us because we endured, because we were honest, because we are human. That is our greatest strength." The golden figure raised its staff one final time. "Then go forward, new guardians. Walk with knowledge, strength, and truth. Humanity will rise not by force but by heart. The Watcher's task is complete and the legacy is yours." The statues along the wall straightened fully, their eyes glowing softly, no longer pressing or judging. The golden light filled the hall and then softened, leaving a quiet warmth. The humans stood together, stronger than ever, ready to take the weight of the tomb into the universe. The golden hall was quiet now, its glow soft and warm. The sphere of light rested in the hands of the three humans, pulsing gently as if breathing. Ryan, Mira, and Taro felt a connection to it unlike anything they had known before. The Watcher's legacy was now theirs, and with it came both knowledge and responsibility. The golden figure stepped forward, its voice calm but strong. "You are the new guardians. What you have chosen will guide not only your world, but all worlds that humanity touches. The task is eternal, but it is your honor to carry it." Ryan looked at the figure and bowed slightly. "We understand. We will protect what must be protected. We will carry the responsibility of the Watchers." Mira added, "We will remember the lessons of the past and guide humanity with care and courage. We will not fail." Taro's voice shook slightly, but he spoke with resolve. "We will stand together. Even if the burden is heavy, we will face it." The golden figure nodded. "Then you are ready. Step forward and the knowledge of the tomb will flow into you. You will see the stars as the Watchers see them, and your hearts will remain strong." As the three humans reached out to the sphere, a wave of golden light spread through the hall. It filled their minds with visions of countless worlds, star systems, and civilizations. They saw planets teeming with life and others silent and abandoned. They saw past mistakes, victories, and lessons waiting to be learned. The knowledge was immense, but it did not overwhelm them. Instead, it guided their thoughts, strengthening their minds and hearts. Ryan felt power flow through him, but also wisdom. He saw the dangers that awaited humanity, the threats that could rise in the stars, and the way humans could meet them with courage. Mira felt clarity. She could now see paths of peace, ways to teach and unite, ways to share knowledge without causing harm. Taro felt connection. He realized that humanity was part of something much larger, tied not only to each other but to the Watchers and to the universe itself. The golden figure's voice echoed one last time. "The tomb has chosen its heirs. You are no longer visitors. You are guardians. Remember that with every step you take, the eyes of the Watchers are upon you, not to judge but to guide. You will now walk among the stars carrying the eternal watch." Slowly the hall shifted. The murals of golden figures and humans glowed brighter, and the statues lowered their staffs completely. The doorway through which the humans had entered opened wider, leading back to the desert outside. The tomb had completed its purpose. The Watchers had passed their legacy, and the humans were ready to carry it forward. Ryan stepped forward first, holding the sphere carefully. He felt the weight of the responsibility, but also a new strength. He turned to Mira and Taro. Are you ready? Mira smiled, calm and confident. Yes, we will face what comes together. Taro nodded, still feeling nervous but no longer afraid. We will protect what we were chosen to guard. Together they walked toward the doorway. As they stepped out into the desert, the two suns shone down on them. The sand stretched endless, yet they no longer felt small or insignificant. They carried the legacy of countless ages, and it gave them purpose. The tomb behind them remained silent, its golden glow fading into the sands. Yet the sphere in their hands pulsed with life. It was a reminder that the Watcher's duty was now theirs, and that humanity's path had changed forever. As they climbed the dunes, the desert seemed less empty, less lonely. Stars began to appear in the sky above, distant and bright. Ryan looked up at them and felt a sense of hope and responsibility. This is only the beginning, he said. Mira added. We have the knowledge and the strength. We have each other. Humanity can reach the stars and we will guide it well. Taro smiled faintly. And we will never forget the Watchers. They trusted us and we will honor them. The three humans walked together, their shadows long in the light of the setting suns. Behind them the tomb stood as it always had, silent, golden, and eternal. But its task was complete. The Eternal Watchers had found their successors. Humanity would now carry the watch, standing vigilant, learning, and growing. In the distance, the first stars of the evening shone brighter than usual. The Watchers' knowledge flowed within the humans, and with it, a new chapter for humanity began. They would explore, they would protect, and they would endure. They would rise among the stars, carrying the Eternal Watch. And so, the Pharaoh's tomb of Eternal Watchers was no longer only a place of the past. It became the birthplace of humanity's future, a future guided by courage, wisdom, and truth. The desert was quiet again, but now it held promise. The Watchers had passed the torch. Humanity would guard it forever,